Hey, so we're back with part 2 of Get the Girl 2009, 2017. If you're just tuning in for the first time ever,
that's wild.
Thank you, Russian bot, but you should probably go check out part 1 first if you want to know what's going on. Otherwise, welcome to It's This Meets That. Just two friends who know nothing about anything, and we talk about bad movies. And I'm Russ.
And I'm Jared.
Where'd we leave off? What's going on?
Yeah, so we left off with our hero here, Calvin, practicing Guitar Master all night long. Again, probably continuing to practice, continuing to not get any better. We had just had very emotional picnic where you and I both questioned our life choices, and
100%.
Yeah, everything was getting really heavy. And then
did anyone eat that cookie in the cooler? That was.
We'll never know.
We'll never know.
We can't. Yeah, we can't possibly know.
So worried about that cookie.
Yeah. Then we cut back to Diane's office, which, as far as I know, is a motel room, right? Like it's a motel room.
Yep, I buy that.
Good. And we still don't know what she does at this point. They reveal
no clue.
3/4 of the way through the movie.
Nope.
What is she even doing? Like, she's just kind of like.
Maybe we'll sacrifice a couple like scene breakdowns just to talk about this a little bit longer, like right here. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Because like this is gonna be a long way. So leading up to so Calvin rides his bike. He's a big biker, and he rides his bike up to this random little stretch of buildings. And there's two things that happen here that are kind of funny though. So he rides his bike up, and this is where he parks his bike underneath a sign that literally just says, "Don't park your bike here."
He is flagrant rule breaker.
That's one thing, but that makes him sound like badass. I'm going to say flagrant idiot. He's just an idiot.
Tomato.
But they did this whole thing. Where they zoom in on the sign, and this plays out. This has no bearing on the rest of the movie whatsoever. I was like, oh, maybe his bike's going to get locked up, and then he can't make it somewhere, and that causes no.
Yeah, they do this a lot where they put things in the movie that don't matter at all.
yeah it's like anyway,
and that's why this is a good movie. They're little details. Those are the details. Yeah, that's why it's a good.
Yeah, it's very David Fincher-esque, kind of throwing us off the tail here.
Exactly, like they're trying to make it so that you and I are talking about it after. We're doing a whole podcast about this movie, right? They succeeded.
All right, that's fair. And then so he's walking into where his friend works, Diane, right?
Yep.
There's also a really weird shot of him like walking into her place, and there's like a water bottle just sitting on the. Did you catch that?
Oh, there's just trash everywhere. Yeah, I don't.
There's just like a water bottle sitting in like in the middle of the sidewalk. Behind him. It's very weird. But then we cut to her, and what is she even doing? I was pretty much like, I think she's an idiot.
Yeah, and that's what I was wondering. I was hoping that you remembered what she was doing whenever you wrote, "Is she an idiot too?"
I'm pretty sure I don't remember what she was doing.
Yeah, no one knows. It doesn't matter
because we don't know what we actually don't know what she does for work, which is funny because like she's doing some just stupid stuff.
She's like stamping things, writing things, like
talking to Olga.
Yeah, talking to Olga. And then our hero Calvin rolls in with the most mangled flower and says, "Thank you for the video game." You're like, you're the biggest piece of shit going.
It sucks. He's like, "Oh yeah, I fell off my bike and the flower fell on the ground and got ran over by a bus." What?
Like, why did you bring anything?
Yeah, just show up with a thank you and a hug. It's your best friend. Like, why? What?
And then like the rest of the scene was like particularly jarring for me because they started talking again about the future and what the future holds. And she asked Calvin, "Well, where would you go? What would you do?" And he says, "Oh, I've always wanted to go to India." And then out of the blue, this is an actual quote from the movie. "What about all those attacks there? It's a pretty dangerous place for an American, isn't it?" I was like, wait, what? What year is this? Like, I know it's 2009, but I don't think India is a particularly dangerous place for an American.
I don't know either. Is it?
No, no, it's a normal place.
Like everyone, like in 2009, was it dangerous? I don't know.
No,
Like,
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. Hey, anyone from 2009, let us know.
Yeah, 2009 or India
Or India. We'll take either or.
Sure.
If you're
Send us
from
an
the
email.
if you're from the year 2009 or from India,
Right. Send us an email. It's thismeetsthat@gmail.com.
let us know. Is it
Let us
dangerous to
know.
go there?
Is it dangerous for an American? Because that seems not factual.
It seems a little off base. So
Yeah, I know plenty of people that go to India. Regularly.
So I don't know any, probably because they all think it's dangerous. But yeah,
Yeah, just a weird script choice.
it's just,
We're getting really hung up on this because I got really hung up on it. Like, it was upsetting to me. Why is this a line?
yeah, it doesn't make any sense. That's a weird call out there.
And then they just kind of like, they're like, well, whatever. We'll go back to Calvin's office. We're talking about Project Green again.
And that's it. Yeah, Project Green. So we're back at Calvin's office. The boss, O'Malley, is shitting on him pretty hardcore for coming to work late because he shows up late because he doesn't wake up because he's been playing the video game.
Yeah, he's doing a very good, at this point, not Bill Lundberg, Dr. Cox from Scrubs, like a John C. McGinley.
Oh, yeah. That's yeah, okay.
Well, I've been on a real high John C. McGinley kick lately. Have you ever watched Stand
come on.
Against Evil?
He's awesome.
Yeah. Have you seen Stand Against Evil?
No.
Oh, man. Have I got 3 seasons of a show for you to watch?
What's it on? Yeah, absolutely. I'm in.
It's on Hulu, so go sign up for Hulu. And
I'll just steal your account. Anyways.
yeah,
Hulu,
so
Hulu, you didn't hear that.
Getting real John C. McGinley vibes from this scene of him just being like, oh,
Yeah.
well, oh, I guess I didn't realize what time it was because it's Monday afternoon.
Yeah.
Being a real asshole. I love it. Closing out his speech with, I want you to dream of nothing but fear and death between now and Friday.
That's a pretty great line. That's a pretty great line, actually. I'm into that.
Like, I love it. And at the same time, he's talking about how awesome Freddie is.
Freddie, who's like the scumbag coworker who's got a,
right.
yeah.
The writer of the movie.
The writer of the movie. Yep, pretty much.
How he's a model employee, how everyone should be more like him. And at the same time, we're still got the whole derpy music in the background that I love.
Yeah, that's been kicking around. It's just still there, kind of floating. I thought it went away, but then it kind of came back, right?
Yeah, it's the hero's theme.
Yeah.
And then the weird thing, before we cut back to Diane's office, but right before then, we talk about we see Freddie saying like, "Hey, know anything about rashes?" Why? You wrote this movie. Why?
Why would you put yourself through this? Like, what is going on here? It's a setup for a really bad joke later on that doesn't really pay off.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh wait, actually, and before that, we don't even cut to Diane's office yet, right? We're still there, and that's when this is when we see Big Al.
Yes,
my other favorite character.
So Big Al is IT guy.
Maybe. I think that's.
You don't see his face, right? So Big Al is just big. He's Big Al.
Always from behind or from the side.
Yep. We only see him twice, I think, in the entire movie.
Yep. His only lines are.
Is this when like this is the whole thing where like the copier is jammed, whatever.
The copier is jammed. No one can figure out a paper jam except for Calvin for some reason. He's the hero of the office. Bad at his actual job, but good at unjamming the copier.
I mean, I hate copiers, but yeah.
We get Cynthia being ruthless. Again, Cynthia, hero of the movie. Mm-hmm. Calvin's trying to understand what Brittany's type is. This is all happening during, like, it's cutting back and forth between Brittany taking advantage of poor Big Al, handing him papers to retype.
She also does kind of like a weird, like, would it, I mean, I don't know. I haven't worked in an office in a year.
Oh yeah, it's changed a lot.
I mean, that's pretty much like kind of sexual harassment. She's just like rubbing his back and being like, hey, why don't you type up these things for me?
Oh yeah, probably. Like, she's definitely guilty, not as much as Freddie, but
definitely not. Yeah, I know. Yeah. There's definitely a balance of terribleness going on, but yeah.
Oh, she's definitely misusing her position here.
Her powers.
Sure. And trying to, con Big Al into doing this whole thing.
Poor Big Al.
And so it's cutting back and forth between that. And Calvin's asking Cynthia, well, what's Brittany's type? Like, how do I get her to like me? And Cynthia just goes, look in the mirror, imagine the opposite. Which I loved.
That is so good. That is
Fire.
That is like Cynthia's only like second or third line of the entire movie. I think that's all that's it. She's done.
Yep.
And it's
amazing.
Yep.
Chef's kiss.
Yep. And the movie now. Move on.
And then but while we're here, the cubes all look like it's a bunch of sheets over cardboard.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's all I'm going to say for right now, because I think you still don't know about this thing that happens later. So I'm going to save it for a bit.
Yeah. So then we jump back to Diane's office.
Yep.
The motel room, if you will. Pretty much. It's a motel room turned into an office.
Yep, sitting in a big Hot Wheels.
And she's in a Hot Wheels car, kind of having like a temper tantrum type of thing.
Seems like it. We
still don't know what she does for work yet, right? We don't know
no
yet.
Clue.
So it's very confusing. I was like, what the hell does she do for work? Like, there's no one in this office other than like this Russian girl, Olga, and that's it.
Olga's out of control. She's like bringing the fire in this scene.
Olga's over the top Russian.
Over the top Russian, but also out of nowhere, like over the top, like, hey, you should be fucking that guy that you're hanging out with all the time.
He's your friend. He's your boy. He's your boyfriend. That's literally the line of dialogue.
Yes. And Diane says, well, he's banging the keyboard all night. And Olga goes, but not you.
Classic Russian, right?
All right, Olga, relax.
Yeah. Dial it down a notch. Holy smokes.
Don't care for it.
Yeah, it's whatever. It's bad.
And then we cut back to Calvin's office. A lot of office talk.
So much office time. So now we're back in the late night office.
Calvin's around.
Yet again, just slacking off. He's kind of terrible. You've got another fantasy scene moment. All the fantasy scenes, by the way, are like, you can tell they are fantasy scenes because it's one of the 7 characters in the movie.
Right.
Kind of dancing around in like red light.
Yep.
And then someone snaps too.
And the janitor is the first person to actually tell Calvin that he's not going to learn how to play guitar by playing this game.
Yes.
Which is baffling to me. Yeah, shockingly, playing a few buttons on a guitar is not the same as learning how to play guitar.
No, it's definitely not.
And there's a whole setup of like, the janitor having words of wisdom, being like, well, the only 2 things that men care about are food and sex. So figured you weren't trying to impress a turkey club. You must be trying to impress a girl. Like, who are you?
Oh my God.
But I love though, and this reminded me of Scrubs too, or something smarter than this, where they just have like one of the side characters rattle off random things that make you really interested. And the janitor is great at that.
Oh, 100%.
He's talking about like, oh, well, then she wants to keep the baby and move into your beach house, even though it's being renovated. And
yeah. It's like, hey, what are we talking about right now? What's happening?
Yes, I want to know more than that.
Yes. That's the story I want to know. So we get more advice from the janitor.
Inexplicably has a weird accent, what we haven't talked about yet.
Yeah, I see noted. I don't, what is it? It's like a Southern thing.
It's kind of Southern. Yeah. And he's doing like, he says this weird thing right at the end there, like, oh yeah, well, learn to play guitar and she'll lay down for you faster than a paraplegic without a wheelchair. And I was like, wait, you can't say that. This is it's 2009. It's not like it's 1927. I don't like when was that acceptable to say? I don't know.
She'll lay down for you faster than a paraplegic without a wheelchair.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
But with a weird Southern accent.
With a weird Southern accent. So maybe it makes it okay. I don't know.
I hate this movie now.
Yep. As you should, because that line was stupid. And then so that's that. And then we move on. And then we're at like this Calvin Diane home phone call. They have a phone call. So they're each at their own homes.
Right. And who eats Pringles out of a bowl?
Right? Is that what that's what it was?
Yeah, Diane is sitting on her bed eating Pringles out of a bowl like a
Serious
clown.
problem. No one does that. Stop it.
You eat Pringles out of the tube. Everyone knows that.
Yes. You don't. Yeah. And this is where we also get a shot of Calvin in his home, back in his bed, his messy room. Yeah. He's got this random photo. He has a photo of Brittany framed, hung up like next to his bed.
Not just any photo, but she looks
terrified. Yes, she looks furious, terrified, scared.
Yeah, it's a really weird picture to have in a frame.
It's us like she clearly knew you were taking the photo. It's like she's like terrified in the photo, meaning she knew you were taking the photo.
Yeah, I don't understand any of this.
It's like,
and I think this is when the people who wrote the movie just kind of like stopped.
The people that wrote the movie, it's either one person or three people with first names.
Right. It's definitely that one guy.
It's the one guy. Like,
yeah. And this is when he was like, shit, we got to wrap this up. So he goes, well, if you beat the game at the end, this is the actual line from the movie, by the way. If you beat the game at the end, there's a code so you can write your own music and lyrics. Like,
this is what the janitor says though to the
well, that's later on. This is when he's setting it up for they're on the phone still. He's talking.
Oh yeah. Oh wait, did the janitor say this? The janitor said this in before this. That we
No. The janitor says this way afterwards.
Oh, does he really?
Yeah, that's why it's weirder and more inexplicable. Don't worry, I'll call it out later.
All right. Okay, I missed that.
It makes even less sense than you think.
Oh fuck! That I missed that again. I guess.
Yeah, this is the first time we address if you beat the game at the end, there's a code so you can write your own music and lyrics. And you're like, wait, do you mean like you could if you had learned how to play guitar instead of playing this game? How wacky is that?
Crazy. I mean, you can. Yeah. Okay. All right. Anyways.
Yeah, and then we get Diane being defeated and talking about how, well, you just want what all guys want, a stripper. And that's when they have this fantasy scene, which is big yikes.
Yeah, I didn't even make a note of this one, but it's just
you did.
Oh, did I?
You said, what the fuck, awkward fantasy fiend.
Oh,
you explicitly said, this is terrible.
I did. What the fuck? Awkward fantasy scene. That goes just a little too long.
Yeah, it's a nightmare.
It is. Yeah, because now so this is where things kind of jump around though, because it's important because like this is a moment where it jumps to Diane's perspective,
right? And
she's having a fantasy scene. Red light thing of
where she's stripping.
Yeah, of course, because it still has to be a girl stripping, right? Like,
right, exactly. Because what's his face wrote this movie?
Yeah,
3 names.
Yeah. So yeah. Oh, that's right. So yeah. So they had this conversation on the phone, and then she's just like falls asleep, and then they cut to her now in this like 2 to 3 minute long like. It's not whatever she's stripping, but it's not really. I don't know. Whatever. Yeah, sure. Whatever she is, but it's just like, yeah,
terrible.
it's fucking absolutely terrible, and it ends in a goofy moment where she falls over,
right?
Because she's goofy, I guess. But it's just like, oh my god, this is so bad.
Then we come back to the office again,
and we're back at the office again.
Which, like, why is Cynthia stripping now? Like, there's a weird fantasy scene that Freddie has at the beginning.
Yeah, so we cut from. So this is what the movie gets really like. This is a perspective problem because
Yeah, Cynthia, one of the few women not to be objectified in this movie so far.
Yeah, now is, and she's the one who's had the best lines of anyone. Yep. Now all of a sudden she's like dancing around all provocatively, and now we're in a point of view of the sleazy coworker, Freddie.
Yes, and he kind of wakes up and goes like, "Oh, what a dream!" And because Cynthia's talking to him, trying to get him to do something at work. This is when he gives Calvin that gem. Calvin's trying to write the song lyrics for the song because he's trying now to work towards beating the game so he can get the code, so that way he can write the song with the lyrics.
Yeah, because his whole goal is to get because his whole plan is that because Brittany likes guitar players,
right?
And he's gonna what's that?
And it's his birthday on Friday.
Yeah, it's his birthday. His whole plan is that he's gonna write a song, learn how to play Guitar Master, the video game. Actually, not learn how to play guitar, but learn how to play video game guitar.
Right, and write a song in video game guitar.
And open up the game so he can write a song through the game to win her affection.
Correct. So he's writing lyrics, and he
there's nothing wrong with that idea. That's a great idea. Let me do it.
No, brilliant.
Genius.
And he asked Freddie what rhymes with kiss, and Freddie's response, piss. Love it. Like, Freddie is off the rails.
Oh man,
doesn't understand anything. This is when we cut to like quick flash to the whiteboard there, where Freddie equals done and Calvin equals 8 units to do. Did you see that? You're like, wait, what the fuck is 8 units?
Dude, I was saying this. I was paying attention to all the whiteboards. They have whiteboards. There's email addresses and phone numbers on the whiteboards, which we should call an email. We definitely should. There was someone on there. I don't think they meant to have it on there. But probably yeah, I couldn't quite figure what they do for like work. Because like on the whiteboard, it was just like they had a whole chart about pretty much just saying the Lakers defeat the Kings over and over again. And then they had like in a corner someone named Tony Matiko or something like that and his email address.
Fascinating.
I think we might have to do some journalism here and dive in, email them, call them up.
It's our responsibility to the listeners.
Yeah. Listeners, if we don't do an episode next time,
we died.
It's probably because we died. Just take everything that we've said as evidence.
Yeah, remember us how we were.
Yes. Anyways, moving on.
Yeah, moving on. We go back to late night at the office with the janitor again. My favorite scenes.
It's like can't Calvin have like a little bit of just do your job. Just like, how hard is it? It's not that hard.
Apparently incredibly difficult. And this time when they zoom in the spreadsheet, I did notice that it was slightly more populated now. It looked like he had put data into maybe 4 cells in the spreadsheet.
Oh.
So very close to being done.
So close. I don't know whatever that report's supposed to be.
Yeah. And then the janitor goes on this like long spiel where he ends up giving Calvin the code for the end of the game, which I have a lot of problems with.
Okay. Well, I have first problem. I have janitor close up. He's just sweaty, mega sweaty. I feel bad for him.
So sweaty. Yeah.
I felt so bad for him. Lawrence, I feel bad for you. That's his last name, but whatever.
Yep. First of all, why does he have the code? Did he also play the game? Second of all,
I thought in the very beginning, didn't he? Whatever. I'm not gonna say it. I thought he.
No, yeah, don't even bother because nothing makes sense here. Like, he definitely didn't play this game.
No.
Why is the code not unique? Like, this is 2009. This isn't, 1999. If the code is not unique, like we're stipulating here, why can't he just look it up on the internet? Like, why isn't there just someone out there on Reddit that said, "Oh, the code is this"? Nothing makes sense. It makes me furious.
Yeah, this is a little bit of stupid.
Yeah, and then like, I don't even remember who says this. Who's talking about the long hot showers?
You say the line, I'll tell you who said it. There's only 7 people in this movie. You say the line, I'll tell you who said it.
All right. Taking long hot showers, trying to scrub the taint of cheap love off your skin until you're bleeding raw.
I would say that's gonna be Freddie.
No, it's the janitor. It's definitely.
Oh yeah, okay, all right. Damn it. It was 1 or 2. I was like, because okay.
Yeah, he's reminiscing back to the days of rock and roll and why.
Yeah.
So then we cut back to the apartment. Right. The
motel. You mean?
No. I thought this was at Calvin's apartment when they're making the spaghetti weird thing.
Oh, yeah, kind of. But no, we cut to her first at her job. Right?
Oh, I thought we just found out while they were talking over dinner.
Oh, is that what? Oh, yeah.
Like
whatever.
Whatever.
Short. Yeah, whatever. Fine. It's fine. Whatever. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter at all.
It doesn't fucking matter. Basically, we just find out at the same time Looking at our notes, we both wrote like, I was like, she writes safety instructions for kids' toys. And you're like, he writes safety
Oh,
instructions.
exactly. I
That's
appreciate how you wrote kids' toys instead of
because
adult toys.
yeah, well,
Shout out to Adult Toys, sponsor us.
Wait, she calls that out, right? She calls out kids' toys, right?
She does, yeah. It's
Okay.
also weird.
Oh shit.
And then this
So
is
we
when
finally learn what Diane does, Calvin's best friend does. She has been living in this, not living, she's working in this weird
car wash
place with Olga, and her and this Russian woman write safety instructions for kids' toys.
Yeah, and this is when we get this revealed when Calvin's begging her to write for him. He's just like, "Oh, you're a writer."
That's right.
And that's when she's like, I write safety instructions for kids' toys.
There it is.
He's like, no, but like you can do whatever you want. Like you should be able to write this song for me. I mean, with me. And she says, yeah, definitely I can write this for you with you.
He sucks on so many levels. He's so terrible.
Yeah, the worst.
How is she friends with him?
I don't know. Because then they don't even. So this is the other thing. Like first they had that shitty pizza. Now they're not even eating this pasta dinner because he ruined it because it's too salty.
I was like, was that what it was? It was too salty?
Yeah. He goes, he takes a bite and goes, pretty salty, huh? She goes, yeah. And then like puts it over.
Like
he's
how
terrible.
much salt are you putting? What are you doing?
What a nightmare.
I hate him.
I hate him so much. And then they have like a songwriting montage.
Yeah. And because he convinces her like, hey, help me write the song, and they write a song and they go to the montage, and like all of a sudden now everything's good, and
They look like they're not having fun.
no, it was like a pasta food fight, which is like, this would just show me nuts. I was like, oh, you just threw food all over the floor. Like, what the fuck's wrong with you?
They probably threw like a pound of spaghetti around.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. Like, what a waste.
Yeah. It doesn't make any sense.
No.
And they don't even look like they're having fun while they're doing it. Like they look like,
yeah, it looks terrifying. It looks terrifying.
So then we cut to Diane's office, right? And the pacifier, she's like sucking on a pacifier for some reason. I think to try and figure out safety instructions for it.
Yeah,
I guess.
Yeah, that was weird.
And I love how it like puts her to sleep. It's a way to infantilize our female leads here.
Yeah, well, that's a good point. Actually, yes. I think that they were hanging out all night, and I think that was like, oh, they hung out all night and she's tired and she can't do her job thing. But it was like also made no sense. It made no sense whatsoever. But the whole pacifier thing was really weird.
And this is when they have the phone call, right?
Oh yeah.
This is when Calvin has a brief phone call with Diane, and Diane's like, "Hey, I can't take phone calls at work, Calvin. You know that." And he's like, "Yeah, I know, sure, whatever." And while he's saying that, he's standing next to a weird sign taped to the wall that says, "No cell phone calls in the office."
It's also like she only works with like the Russian Olga. Knowing like there's been no one else in her office. Who cares?
Like, why couldn't you take a cell phone call?
Yeah, just walk outside.
And then they agree to have lunch together at the Swings in this park.
Yep.
We're at the Swings now, meeting up for lunch. We've got Calvin, Diane on another date, some would say.
Basically.
And everyone in this movie is eating bananas constantly.
There's a lot of potassium intake.
Yeah, something upsetting about this for me. I don't know why, but
do you not like bananas?
No, I like bananas fine.
I love bananas. Okay.
It's just everyone's eating bananas and no one's talking about eating bananas, Like everyone's doing this one thing, but no one's addressing it. It's a big elephant in the room.
It's also like Olga eats a banana in one scene, probably a couple scenes ago, and it's not a good looking banana.
Just a scene ago. It was 5 seconds ago. That's why I'm bringing it up again, because now Calvin's also eating banana.
Also eating a banana. Yeah, I think there's 3 separate banana eating scenes that happen.
Incidents, right?
Yeah, incidences, if you will. Incidences.
Sure. But they look, I don't know, to me they look like pretty good bananas, well ripened.
The one that Olga's got is a little rough.
Well, it's got a little couple of dark spots here and there, but
Yeah,
that's a well-ripened banana.
Sure, but come on. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, this is a banana-focused podcast now. So, also while they're at lunch, being uncomfortable eating bananas, they're talking about how they'll be best friends forever and what, like, lots of stuff.
Thick.
Like, yeah, very classic movie trope of best friends that will never become couple, but will immediately become a couple in a couple scenes from now.
Yeah,
that's this.
Like, there's zero surprises in the entire movie. If up to this point, dear listener, you're listening and you haven't figured out who hooks up with who,
right?
I'm sorry.
Yeah. So that's how we awkwardly transition back to Calvin's office.
Yeah. We jump back to Calvin's office, and a lot of awkward stuff happens here. Calvin walks up to his coworker Freddie, who just has his pants down, is applying some type of cream to his junk in the middle of the office.
Yeah, which, wait a second. I've worked in a lot of inappropriate offices with you, and
true.
I've never been in the middle of an office without pants.
I've never come across anyone in the middle of the office with no pants.
I was going to say I've never been in the office with no pants, but I definitely changed pants in a phone room once or now and then.
Yeah, but that's fine.
For a softball game or something.
I've definitely done that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. But never like in like the middle of the office.
No, never in my cubicle was I dropping trow and applying cream to my balls. Never, ever.
Have I slept underneath my desk?
Maybe. Hard
to
say.
Was that someone else? Was that another friend of ours who maybe listened to this podcast or not? Unclear.
Hard to say.
Hard to say. But these things happen, and you just you grow better from them.
Yep, exactly.
Exactly. But what you don't fucking do is apply cream to your junk in the middle of the office.
No, of course not.
No.
And like, he's putting up posters all around the office for his advertising his birthday party on Friday. Like, why is the birthday party picture so bad? So remember the first one that he puts up on the bulletin board there?
It looked like a employee of the month thing, and he just taped something over it.
Yeah, it's like a weird black and white picture with a hole in it, I think.
I wouldn't go to this party.
No, I wouldn't go this way.
No one should go to this party. It looks like a creeper party. It looks like a party where someone's going to get murdered.
Yeah, and then besides that, though, he's got a second flyer. I think the other thing, too, is
I'm not sure
which flyer do I trust? Like the one that's posted on the bulletin board in the cafeteria?
Or the paper one he's handing out to people.
Exactly. Because they look completely different. One is certainly sketchier than the other.
I think the trick is to not trust either one of them, you know?
I think you're right.
So then we get some good lines, though. Freddie's like, yeah, I'll go to the party. And he talks about bringing his burning balls.
Yeah, the burning balls, they come back a bunch.
Yeah, this is a good setup for a joke later, too. I'll even bring my burning balls. My meatballs.
Right. I thought he was talking about his balls, which were burning, which is why he was putting the cream on them.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that was there for a long time. That would just kind of lingered there.
Yeah.
But he's going to bring his burning meatballs because they have jalapeno in them. They're very tasty.
Allegedly.
And then we get a good insight into, we get a recap of Calvin's plan.
Right.
Where he talks about he's having the party, which actually his best friend, his BFF there, Diane, planned. Really, she was like, oh yeah, let's have a party, and like she kind of like set this whole thing up.
Oh, it's all her idea.
Yeah. And he was like, oh, but I'm gonna have a party, and he basically, his grand plan is, if you haven't figured this out, he's gonna have a birthday party. He's gonna invite Brittany to it. He's gonna learn how to play the Guitar Hero video game, unlock the code so he can write his own song within the game, and then play the song for her at the party.
Right.
All of that sounds like a terrible idea to me.
Yep.
And I think Freddie now becomes like a great character because he's just like, yep, that sounds like a terrible plan.
Yeah, this is when Freddie turns around for me too.
Yeah, and he's just like, yeah, that doesn't sound like a good plan. And he's right. It sounds like a terrible plan.
Yeah. And at the same time, there's no way that Brittany's coming to the party.
No, no.
She has not confirmed this. In fact, she's explicitly said, "I'm not going to come to the party."
Yes.
When Calvin invited her, he's introducing himself. First of all, I worked down the hall in data input. Like,
oh, is this gonna get our first insight of what they actually do there?
yeah, like remember when data entry was a job that you could pay people to do?
I think, is it not still a thing?
I don't think so. I think everyone's outsourced that at this point.
Does no data need to be entered anywhere?
Oh no, lots of data needs to be entered lots of places, but I don't know. I don't think it's as common as it was in 2009.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. You got robots do that
not
shit.
in Van Nuys. You can't afford the rent in Van Nuys.
No way. Kidding me?
on a data entry job.
No way. Not sure if that's true, but anyone from Van Nuys, let us know.
So yeah, I hate everything about this scene. Calvin's so uncomfortable asking anyone to come to his party. Time to go. And like, what the hell are the cubicles that Brittany's sitting in? I shouted this out earlier when I was talking about how they filmed in a library, almost certainly. Like, what are these weird little, like, they're not cubicles. Like, it's a row of table with a little bit of plywood in between.
Yeah.
How? Like, they look like privacy booths in a library, and she's reading a magazine all day. Big Al's just sitting there being Big Al.
Poor Big Al.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. And then we get the sweaty janitor again, right? Or did we already get him? Or are we skipping over that? Are we skipping over that?
I think you skipped a bunch of stuff. So we cut to the motel at that point, / Diane's office, and Olga's cold, even though it's like 80 degrees.
Yeah.
Like, because she's Russian, they make a bunch more Russian jokes. Olga telling her that, just give him lots of vodka and he'll be yours. And like, why is she always wearing this Cossack hat? I think it's only to denote that she is from Russia.
Russia, yes. Just in case you forgot.
Yep. So then we cut back to the office again. More Big Al. And like, what the hell does Big Al make for this movie, right? Like, maybe is he making $5,000?
No, God, no.
Okay.
No.
All right. Like, you think maybe like a couple $100? Like, what's Big Al's in this movie for a total of 2 minutes?
So I think if we want to get technical about this, I think the going rate for like a on the day actor for one day who's like not credited for anything, I think it's like it's a couple $100, but that's it. It's okay. Like, but if like they're SAG and they're all
SAG rates, yeah,
but this doesn't feel like this movie was. This feels like it was shot with like a handful of people who are just like friends.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
And I know a guy. Hey, you want to be in this movie? That's gonna be awesome.
He's got the best gig in town.
Yeah. Doesn't show his face. Doesn't do anything.
No. And this is when Freddie is trying to convince her to come to the party, Brittany to come to the party. Right. This is the part I glossed over it because it was upsetting. But basically he promises, Freddie promises to Brittany that there's going to be some rock star debuting a new song at the party on Friday night, and she's got to be there or she'll be square.
Yeah, and this is after Calvin failed because he's just terrible.
Exactly.
Freddie's like, I got this.
Yeah,
and he basically just sets it up as like, oh, there's gonna be some. Yeah, he pulls a good one for his bud.
Right. So that's when we cut back to the janitor. And this is when I wrote Diane. That's her name.
You finally, at this point, figured out.
Yep. This is when I realized Diane was her name.
It's completely fair because they don't, and it's not very clear.
And the janitor's given all kinds of wise words, as he always does, about, if you stay true to yourself and the ones you love, you'll make it through life just fine.
That's a pretty great line.
Yep. Freddie's trying to, Calvin's trying to figure out what that all means.
He's an idiot, though.
He's a super idiot.
He's a big time idiot. It's kind of annoying. And then they cut back to him in his apartment. He's just practicing more and more and more, right?
Yep.
Is Diane and is she in the scene?
Oh yeah, she's in the scene because he's bouncing lyrics off of her left and right here. And she's saying that they're pretty amazing, which is wrong. And like really setting us up for failure.
Which is wrong.
I don't know. At this point, I was just really worried that we weren't going to hear the song.
I'm like, yeah, I'm actually at this point, I'm not gonna lie to you, like, yeah, all right, let's talk about this because like this is a good point. I have to agree, like, I was worried one of two things. One, yeah, no, I think that was my first fear. Like, we won't actually hear the song.
Yep.
And then two, I was like, oh, we're gonna hear it, and it's gonna be embarrassingly bad.
Yeah, and it was neither of those things. We heard the song, and it wasn't the worst song I've ever heard.
No, it fit perfectly. We'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there. So we get back to the office.
Back to Calvin's office yet again, right?
And this is where we get our intro quote, right?
Yep, there's where we meet the beginning. So
unless that's one hell of a long suicide note, I'll take it you finally completed your work on Project Green.
The boss, the best line there, O'Malley there, or Lou Richards dropping that line as Calvin stepped up, finished all of his work, got this whole thing done, all of his checks. Yep. Dropped it down, and that's it. And he's in. And
O'Malley is pumped because Project Purple begins first thing Monday morning.
That's right. And he's like, hey, you know what, kid? Have a good... And well, then this is where Calvin's like, hey, I want to ask you something. And he's like, the boss is like, I know. You're having a party. You want to ask me to your party, whatever. But, you know, I'm not sure if the missus all... He goes, this whole shit.
So sad.
Yeah, I was like, oh, shit. And then
I don't think I can go to your swinger party.
Yeah, and then Calvin's just like, no, I just wonder if I can leave early.
Yep. And he's like, well, I guess that's cool. I want you to be well rested for Project Purple, which I love. Then I also love this scene closes out with Freddy on the whiteboard. Like, they make a huge point about zooming in on him sneaky changing. He has supposedly 10 or
units.
Yeah,
no. He
no, 10 or 18.
No. It's 0 to 8 or something like that. And he changes. He was going to go change his to done. He changes. I know
exactly what it is.
To 18.
It's 10. He erases the 1 and then puts a slash through the 0.
Yes, to make him done.
Yep, to make him done. And then he puts a 1 in front of Calvin's 8 to make it 18. He adds those 10 to the 8 to make it 18.
Yeah.
Of units of work.
Whatever that means.
Whatever units of work are.
Yes. Hey, out there who works in units, let us know.
Yeah, and they make it a huge point. Like this scene takes up, I don't know, 20 seconds.
Oh, yeah. And they zoom in on him like doing the whole thing.
Never matters ever again.
Nope.
So they come back to the motel.
And we're done. And see you.
We go back to Diane's office at this point. And this, to me, it's exactly what it's like if you think that children were wondering what an office job was like. It's very clear to me that none of these people have ever worked a standard, any kind of office job. Because I remember, like, I had never worked an office job until when this movie came out. Until 2009, I think, was my first office job.
Fair.
And it was like, oh yeah, okay, you do like go fix the copier and talk around the water cooler, like, to a degree.
Yeah.
I see where these tropes came from.
Yeah.
But it's also like none of these things.
No, not at all. Not one bit.
And then also, this is where we get. I don't think you picked up on it too much.
It feels like people who are in LA. This is what they think people in the Midwest do.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Like people who don't live in Van Nuys do this.
like people trapped in a small town.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, trapped in a small town like Van Nuys.
This is what they think they do.
Yep. And like, I think like you wrote, talking, it doesn't matter for this part, but it does matter.
Yes, it kind of does.
Because like, I want more. This is the first time the story developed for me. Like, I wanted backstory for Diane because out of nowhere, they're talking about their parents, right? They're talking about how Calvin's parents are doing whatever. And Calvin says, oh, how's your aunt and uncle? And you're like, wait, not her parents, her aunt. So like something happened to Diane's parents.
Yeah.
that she was raised by her aunt and uncle. Like there's so much backstory. Like all of a sudden, like that's the interesting part. I can't. I'm like, I want to know what happened to Diane's parents.
Like, why is Diane of all the characters who has like all the backstory?
Like poor Diane the orphan.
That's the story you want to see.
Yep, and nothing.
Nothing.
And then it's like, oh, back to the office.
That's why I was like, what? This is garbage. Nothing's good here. We're moving on.
This is when we get sexy Big Al. So a little quick cut to Brittany's fantasy. Brittany's having a fantasy about Big Al.
Now we got Big Al dancing.
Yep, and a lot of fat shaming in this movie.
A little bit.
And
a little bit.
Brittany calls up her doctor immediately and says, "I need my Valium prescription refilled stat," which, first of all, is pretty fucked up in the first place. Like, Brittany's on some kind of weird Valium prescription. Like, I don't know. A lot of bad things.
Yeah. She's not a paint her apartment. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I don't know. Everything about this line makes most of the rest of the movie way sadder.
Yeah. So that was weird. That was all weird.
Yep.
And then what do we cut to? We end up at
this is like the final scene. We're at the party. It's time. We're doing some prep, and then we're doing the final party, which is
the whole thing's been building up to his 25th birthday party that Diane said, "Hey, let's do this for you for your birthday."
Yep.
He's like, "I have no friends," and it's just him and her, and
like, Diane, you dog. She's about to come out with her crush on Calvin.
Yep.
And she says, "I think I'm in love with." And perfect screenwriting. Freddie walks in. Freddie's burning balls are here.
Michael
Ryan, Scott Ryan.
Michael Daniel Ryan.
Yeah.
Whoever you are. Yeah, whoever you are.
Love you. And it works on so many levels because at this point he's bringing not only his balls that are
yet
full
again
of jalapenos. Yes.
Yet again, ball references 3 times, 4 times.
Also, his itchy rash balls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He caught something from someone.
Yeah, it's the perfect line. Great.
Why is that a cool thing to share with everyone?
Great screenwriting.
Because you got burning balls. Wouldn't you keep that yourself? Wouldn't you just be like, I'm gonna disappear now. I'm a character that no longer exists. Why would you be like, hey man, I got burning balls? Yeah, you have gonorrhea. You have something. Go to a doctor and get it checked.
Well, and that's what O'Malley said. O'Malley literally said, "Go to the doctor. Don't tell me about your balls."
Yet again, O'Malley just fucking chiming in. Great character.
Best character in this movie. And then I don't know if you noticed this, but all of the bottles of booze are basically empty.
I saw you wrote this. I didn't actually catch it.
Yeah, everything's basically empty, but they're like, "Oh, look at all this alcohol we have." And you're like, it's like a few shots in each of those bottles.
So yet again, that does not come out of the budget of $265,000.
Nope. What kind of party are we planning to have here? And like, we're excusing a lot of Freddie's crimes at this point, but he's like flashing women, drugging women. Like, nothing Freddie's doing is harmless. Like, Freddie should be in jail, and Calvin is just writing it all off as like, well, that's just Freddie being Freddie.
Yeah, it's like, no, man, your buddy's a scumbag.
I don't know. Yeah, like 2009 was not a different era. Like, that's the era we're in now, and I think is as far as societal norms go, and not cool.
Decade ago, things are different.
I guess. We like cut out to the couches where we see all those party hats on the table. You see those?
Yeah.
That's so sad.
Yeah.
Like, unused. There's nothing sadder to me than unused party hats.
That is, I mean, it was pretty sad because there was a lot of party hats and like no one filled them.
Yeah. And then like, this is when Freddie gets his 15 minutes of fame, and he gets probably 5 to 10 minutes of exposition here. Not 5 to 10. It's probably like 2 minutes, but he's like talking about like how his whole life, like people have abused him, and like, I don't know, like we get Freddie's backstory finally, and he's a really damaged person. Like, I feel terrible for Freddie.
Yeah, it's not, it's not good.
Yeah, but he has like a good joke about his genital warts, so I guess that's okay.
Man, I guess that makes up for something, but yeah, the party's it's kind of lame. It's sad.
It's 3 people at the moment.
It's three people. Yeah, it's Calvin, Freddie, and Diane. It's pretty sad, actually.
So finally, Brittany shows up.
So Brittany does show up.
Unbelievably.
Yeah. There's no reason why she should have showed up. And yeah, she shows up, and the whole plan is this moment where she shows up, and Calvin's gonna play
the song. But when he starts playing the song, instead of being horrified like a normal person, Brittany is immediately attracted to him. Like the second words start coming out of his mouth, this song is not great. Shout out to Trevor Cushman.
But we need to talk. This is the crux of it. We got to talk about this.
We're going to talk a lot about Cushman.
Like this is it. Like this is the meat of the entire movie, right? So like,
yep.
And she actually likes guitarists. That's it.
Well,
unemployed guitarist apparently. That's fine.
Yeah.
And here we are at the moment where Calvin has not really written a song at all.
It was our time for being in love.
Did you write down all the lyrics? Oh, we sure.
I wrote down some of the lyrics. Yeah.
Oh, we should have written them down. We should have written down the lyrics to the entire song and just sang it.
Yeah. I mean, there are parts like I've known you for most of my life. Like already immediately, the song is clearly not about Brittany.
Yes. Like that was the second line. It was like, oh, this clearly is what.
Yeah. And it's
Diane
also
wrote.
Less embarrassing than I hoped it would be. Like I hoped that this would be like a good American Pie kind of moment.
I was hoping it was gonna be like, yeah, I was hoping it was gonna be like absolutely like terrible. I mean, so all right,
it wasn't good.
It's nice. let me clarify that. It is terrible, but it's not nearly as bad as I thought it would be.
Yeah.
Is that okay? Can I say it? I mean,
no, it was pretty good. Trevor. I mean, we want Trevor on the show. Trevor Cushman, if you're out there, we want you on the show.
Hit us up. ITMT Pod on Twitter. Whatever.
So yeah, I think saying it was pretty good is okay. And like also, I don't know, so this is when the movie kind of derailed itself for me because like, why did she throw her bra at him? It makes me upset because for a number of reasons. One,
yeah, because he starts playing a song and like it's just out of control, and she's like now totally into him.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
he's clearly reading lyrics about Diane.
Very clearly.
And singing to Brittany. And then like, I don't know, like at one point Diane gets up and walks out of the room because of course she does, because it's upsetting for her to listen to a song written about her be sung to Brittany.
Completely reasonable.
And then Brittany throws her bra at him, and bras are expensive. No one ever throws a bra at anyone in real life. Like bras are fucking expensive.
Maybe back in the 80s. I don't know.
Maybe, but this is 2009.
Yeah.
So for one, crazy. For two, there's four people at this party, and one of them just walked out. So now there's three of you in the room. One of them's weirdo Freddie, who's like wasted on the couch.
Yep.
Right. And then our friend here playing Guitar Master.
Yep.
The game.
Yep.
And you. And you're like, oh no, now is the time. Now is the time that I do this. I'm upset about it. And then my favorite line, I almost used this as the quote for the beginning of the movie.
It's so awkward.
Almost used this. So this is when Calvin realizes his mistake and runs out of the room too. And Brittany stays behind and starts walking away from Freddie, but Freddie goes and whips out a harmonica from his jacket and starts playing a little tune.
Not even. Don't even give him that. He goes like this.
Yeah, on the harmonica. Plays a little note. And Brittany looks at him and says, oh, I've always loved the guy who plays the saxophone. Which, sneaky, the best line in the whole movie. And then they make out and talk about his rashes and how it only burns for a couple days.
Yeah, and there's this really weird, awkward pan over the coffee table with all the sad hats and like the meatballs.
Yeah, it's gross at this point.
I don't approve.
Yeah, and then like the whole time we've got our song from Trevor Cushman here, our song.
So we should talk a little bit. So we should definitely clarify here. So he finally sings a song to, I know we're stepping back a notch here, but we should clarify though, when he starts singing the song, it changes, like it's him lip syncing to an actual song that was written and recorded by Trevor Cushman.
Yep. And the lip syncing is great.
He nails it. But everything else about it is unbelievable.
Yes.
I don't mean that in a good way.
No, yeah, awful.
It's like unbelievable. It's like, I don't believe this.
Yeah. Like he, I don't know, like he's doing the lip syncing for the song. And I thought it was him because the song is terrible. Like I believed it. I was like, oh no, it's definitely the star of the show here because it's terrible.
I thought to me, it looked like and sounded like he recorded the song out like separately, right? And then did a lip sync to the song that he recorded.
Yes, exactly.
That's what I thought, which was like, oh, that's completely reasonable. Like, yeah, this is better. You had $265,000 to spend on this.
At best. Apparently.
There's no way.
Yeah, everything about it was not what you want.
No, and then
that's the end. I mean, that's the end. That's the fucking end.
Yeah. That's it. We're done.
That's the craziest part of all is that they just end the movie. They're like, oh, and it's over.
Yeah, it's like us ending our episodes, like, and we're done. But yeah, so he goes down to like the steps, like outside like his apartment steps, and that's when this is actually the end, right? Him and Diane, best friend, they kiss.
Yeah, they have a perfect kiss. The perfect kiss that you've been waiting for the whole movie, kind of, on the stairwell.
The stairwell they met where she waited for him when he ditched her.
Yeah, awful. Everything about it is terrible. I mean, the Trevor Cushman song is still playing in the background.
It's still playing. It is a gem. I highly recommend everyone. I highly recommend everyone to go find it.
The movie or the song?
The song, not the movie. No, the song. Can people find the song and listen to it themselves?
Probably, yeah.
Can we put it on? Is it on Spotify?
Yeah, we'll put the link on our website.
Yeah.
We'll find it somewhere.
And then that's it. Or is it?
And this is where I saw it afterwards, but I was like, I didn't think you were gonna make it to the bloopers.
Oh, I made it.
Okay. The bloopers were upsetting.
Oh man. So we roll credits. Obviously Calvin has learned that get the girl was in front of him the entire time.
Yep.
We're done with that. And they roll credits. And then they start doing blooper scenes.
Surprise in the bloopers, the cubicles it was cardboard and sheets, like I thought it was.
It was like the thing fell over and I was like, oh nope, we gotta Dennis was probably like, nope, we gotta reshoot that. What was the other two? There's only two. They only showed two.
The other one was like them talking, but they weren't mic'd up really well. So it was like they were like dancing
Calvin
around.
And
Diane. Yeah, it was Calvin and Diane dancing around while Calvin's playing the video game.
It was their montage scene.
Yeah, but they weren't mic'd up really well at all. And so you couldn't really hear anything they were saying. And then it just kind of ended, and then it was like, oh, more credits.
And that's the end of that.
Like, and St. James Productions.
And that's it.
Yeah.
So much for that.
Like, what is any of this? I hate this movie. I started out loving this movie. Now I hate it.
Yeah, well, this is why this is great because like I don't say anything and then I let you go through all your range of emotions and you get to the end and what you start out, you change by the end.
You're right. I'd still
You loved this movie about 2 hours ago. And I was like, convince me. And now here we are. I hate this movie.
Would I watch it again? Yes.
What? You're a crazy person. That's crazy person talk.
I'm just like, it made me feel a lot of feelings. The end of the movie left a lot to be desired, but at the beginning there were parts where
I feel like any of the movies we watch, there's no reason to go back and rewatch these movies.
No, I'd rewatch a bunch of them.
No, what? No, I have to bring you in somewhere. I have to get you checked out. Like, no.
Hours of my life are meaningless.
Maybe 2020 wore you down, but like, no, there's no way.
Yeah, maybe you're right.
No,
It's
yeah,
2020.
no, I am right. You can't be rewatching any of these movies.
Yeah, so definitely, dear listener, go watch this movie on Amazon Prime.
You should have watched it before you even got to this.
But if you haven't, now's the time.
Yeah, give him a little shot.
It was fun. It'll make you have an existential crisis about your own life.
It's only an hour and 20 minutes.
I've wasted way more time doing way stupider things.
Yes, me too.
So,
I mean, we just spent
the last 3 hours talking about this.
Not stupid time, no. Fine time. This is good
You're
time.
Right.
This is friend time. But yes, yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't watch it.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's it. That's the end of our episode. Thanks for listening. If you made it this far, appreciate it. We'll be back next week. But in the meantime, you should follow us on Instagram at It's This Meets That. And we're also ITMTPod on Twitter. We promise 2021.
Yeah, we're actually going to start using those channels.
Yeah, there's so much social media coming. It's going to be, you're not even going to be able to handle it.
Yeah, you're in for a treat and a half.
Get fired up. Pay attention.
Yeah, look out.
Buckle up.
At this point, it's mid-February, so we should have made good on our promise by now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you're feeling old-fashioned, you can also send us an email. It's thismeetsthat@gmail.com. Or, as always, you can find all our episodes at itsthismeetsthat.com.